Hello and welcome to another episode of Living Resilient. Today we have a guest, Teslim Oderinu, who is an engineer and also a project manager. But however, today we're not going to discuss about his working experience. We're going to look at his involvement in a local group called JCI, in which he volunteers when he's not working. So, Teslim, welcome to the podcast.
All right, thank you for having me.
You recently became the president of a local network called JCI. First of all, what does JCI stand for?
So JCI stands for Junior Chambers International.
You see, I have looked all over LinkedIn and even the website, I haven't seen that. Junior Chambers
International.
International. Okay. Could you tell us a bit about the community, right?
Yeah, so I'll say it's a community, I'll say it's a network, it's a group,
Okay.
but all in all, it's aimed at bringing young people around the world or even locally, anywhere in the world together. And it's for young persons between the age of 18 and 40. And like I said, it's aimed at young people. And the group Tribes was created to bring a platform for young people to develop themselves so it could be career wise, personally. And by doing that, this helps the community. So we do a lot of charity work. Then there's also the business aspect of it, just helping people network better and linking them to the right information and the right people. And also involves a bit of traveling to other countries because it's a global network of people.
Yeah.
So you have a JCI in most major cities around the world.
Around the world. I thought it was only in like Scotland or England.
No, it's
It's around the
everywhere.
world. Oh, it's a
Yeah,
large community.
large community.
Okay,
So I'm the local president in Aberdeen for 2024.
okay. How did you discover this group? I mean, how did you find out JCI? And what was your motivation to join, to become a member of the group?
Okay, so my first or the first occurrence of JC I can remember was seeing a project my friend posted online where she had joined the group to clean the beach. And this was after university while I was job hunting. And I was getting to the point I was getting frustrated and not enjoying my part-time. Well, it wasn't part-time anymore since I'd graduated. I wasn't enjoying the restaurant gig I was doing at that time. So whilst hoping to like get a proper job relating to what I'd studied, I was like, okay, that's something I would want to do. Or just look for activities and experiences I can do to like help around. I didn't even look much into what JCI was about. I just liked
Just
that
wanted
we're
to get
doing that.
involved in some community work
Yeah,
or get busy.
just get busy
Okay.
because in my undergrad degree, I was in two societies while on campus. So I was in the Nigerian Student Society and I was also a committee member there. And also a group of my friends in our first year stroke second year of uni created a university in our university union there for video games and technology. So I think I've had this, what's a background of history of doing other things on the side as like uni or work just to keep me busy. But at that point, job hunting was just keeping me busy and I wasn't enjoying the work I was doing at the time. So I was just looking forward to doing something else. So I think a year after, I think I'd stopped taking less shifts, started going for more interviews, going for more networking events.
Okay.
And I'd seen a JCI event for project management and I just finished my degree in project management. So I was like, okay, let me go for this. So even before my friend invited me, I'd signed up. and that was my first JCI event, and I was going ever since.
Okay. Was there anything in particular you were hoping to get from being a member of JCI? I mean, I know you said you like being busy, but it can be because you just wanted to do something. You went for the first event, second event, so there should have been something that you found interesting or something that you found you could benefit from being a member of that group.
Yeah, so one of my first draw to JCI was the development opportunities they had. So JCI prides itself in providing training sessions and connections to industry professionals to teach you different things. It doesn't have to be something core specific to a particular occupation. It's general and across board. So from project management could be to event management, to be just learning how to paint
Oh,
something.
really?
Yeah.
Do they have, so they have like mentors or people that are members of JCI that are willing to organize such training for? Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's good. That's brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, personal development was one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that brought me in. Because I've always struggled with speaking in public. And I think one of the other events, aside from project management, that was what I went for. And so I went for that one, went to the other couple ones, and I was just learning different things that are useful, but maybe not immediate. But I know I might need them in the
Okay.
future. And these are just soft skills that would help me with employment and would be good to put on my CV. So, and at this point, I was job hunting. So these are things I felt would help me along the way, even after I get the job.
Okay. So they organize training sessions. And what goes on in the training? Do they like give you opportunity to get involved in things? For example, you say it's public speaking, you weren't so confident, which a lot of people are, so it's okay. So is there a point where they actually let you try out the public speaking in terms of you actually practicalize whatever is being taught, or it's just normal, training, and then like you say, you wait until you have the opportunity to you put the knowledge to practice?
Yeah, so the first time I went to took me by surprise because I didn't know I was going to be like put on the spot to
Oh,
speak.
okay, that's
So I liked it about that.
okay.
So it was unexpected, but after you've done it and gotten out of the way,
So they just called you to say something, or
well, not exactly like that. So I think it started off with the person like giving us tips,
yeah, yeah,
examples.
yeah.
After that, a few things, and it's usually along the line of you start a conversation randomly, maybe with an object in the room, and you just progress from there. Just try and keep talking for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It doesn't have to entirely make sense, but you can make it flow together and just build your confidence talking in front of people.
Yeah.
So that happened, and like, okay, we're going to like go around the room
Okay,
and let everyone experience that.
okay, okay.
So
And how was that like for you?
so before it
Nervous.
got to my turn, yeah, I kept like trying to calm down, breathe in, breathe out, nervous. But then again, yeah, I was in the room with strangers, but I was also in the room with some of my new friends from JCI, so I felt a bit comfortable. I tried not to stay in my head too much. And yeah, it went okay.
And
So
those are the things you learned, I'm sure, during the training. Things like taking in breath, breathing in, breathing out before you're about to
speak,
speak,
yes.
and not staying too much in your head. I know you just mentioned that. So, okay, so those are things you must have learned, and you were now, okay, let me
Yeah.
practice or, do, okay, those things.
So that went well. There was no grading or anything
Yeah,
related to
yeah.
it since we're all just beginners and we're trying to learn.
But that's good. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then another one I'd been to, which was at the JCI conference. well, it was sort of a competition, but unofficial because the person that done the best won something.
Okay.
But everybody was just there for the fun of it. No one was competing because you can't really compete in that kind of thing because the challenge was go into a bag in front of the room, put your hand in and bring out something. You don't know what you're bringing out
And talk about
and
it.
talk about it.
Oh God. Okay.
Uh,
Sounds interesting.
yeah. So it was good. So I've done that about 3, 4 different times now, and it was fun. And I always get good feedback from my
Yeah.
friends because
Yeah.
they had never seen me speak like that before. And so doing it over and over again builds your confidence. But I think that looking inwards, you're always shy at the beginning until you like just drop it. You've done it before. This is a familiar territory. So just do it once, get over it. And I think with time, I I noticed myself getting better.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think which we can relate to resilience, right?
Yes.
So you could relate the fact that doing things more than once over and over again, repetition builds confidence, like, in your case, and not running away or backing out when you're faced with sort of when you're put on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, that's a good one. I think that sounds really, really interesting. It reminds me of there's something similar. I joined Toastmasters. I don't know if you've heard about Toastmasters. So I know
Yes,
they do something like that about public speaking, and it's a good. So it's good based on what you've said. I think if you identify like weaknesses or areas in yourself that you want to improve on, for example public speaking, it's good to identify different groups or committees or communities that you can join, get involved in order to build whatever
yes.
skill, which is what you've done, which is good, and I think that's great. So you started off, how long have you been a member of JCI?
Going on to about over 2 years now.
It's just only because you started and now you're the president of the local branch in Aberdeen, yeah?
Yeah.
So that must have been, I mean, you must have been very committed,
Yeah, I
right?
guess I
Committed,
was.
involved in lots of events, projects. Okay, before we get to how you got to there or what motivated you to, I don't know, was it elected or was it just,
It was by nomination.
it was, okay, you were nominated? What sort of events? So apart from the training that they engage in, I know you mentioned something about beach committee
Yeah.
work. What other sort of activities or events does the community? What do they engage in as well?
So aside our own project, we might assist other charities in their own.
Okay.
So we're keen on doing collaborations
Okay.
with local organizations.
Okay.
So aside the training, we have social events for networking and all that.
Okay.
So I think one interesting one I'd done was I invited people to my workplace to see what I do and learn about subsea engineering and ROVs. It was very interesting, and it was a collaboration with another local organization in Aberdeen for, I say, students.
Okay.
So you had people job hunting in the same shoes I was prior to that, and this was something I would have liked to have been involved in, had done. But unfortunately for me, during my degree, it was in COVID. So it was good to be able to like give back in that way. And at that point, I was a board member, and my role was for personal and development. So like I remember when I took that on, I was like, okay, what kind of projects can I do?
Where do I go from
Where do
here?
I go from
How do I
there?
start?
Yeah.
But I know I've had some guests that have said things, similar to what you're saying. You put yourself out there, which is very good. And that is one huge step. The fact that you've put yourself out there, I think that is even probably the largest step you're
Yeah,
going to
good
have to
take.
take. Because once you're there, then you start to go with the flow. You have people coming up supporting you. So yeah, it's so you took up the position of what, personal
Personal
development,
development
and
officer
you were
manager.
like, what can you do? And what was your first project ever that you implemented?
So I think the first one I'd done was actually a product management event similar to the one I attended for my first JCI.
Okay.
And coincidentally, it was the same speaker.
Okay.
So something interesting happened along that lines. So after that first event, done an interview with him for a project
Okay.
was about to embark on. Although I didn't get it, we kept close contact. We talk on and off, and he was always checking up on me to see how I was doing career wise. And so when I was thinking of things to do, I had met with him again at different events where he gave a talk on agile project management. I was like, this is something I think the rest of the group might want to participate in.
Yeah.
And so we contacted him again if he was happy to deliver, I say, the class or the session again. And he was happy to. And it went very well. I think after I was able to do that one,
It became easier.
it became easier.
as you
I
went
didn't stress because
Yeah.
prior to the event, just start thinking, do I have enough people registering?
Was the event open to people outside the network?
Yes, it
Okay.
was. All events,
Because all your events are open to people outside network.
or most of it.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. Yes, starting is always difficult. I think starting is the most difficult. There's an illustration. It's like you have a car, stationary car, and you're trying to push it to get it moving. I mean, everyone knows, if your car is broken down and you want to get it to take off, the energy of
Energy
what you
put in.
need is a lot more. But once it starts rolling, then it becomes easy.
Yeah.
So yes, starting is always difficult. So did you ever see yourself becoming the president of the network?
No, I did not.
Never.
Not at all.
Okay.
I don't even think I was even aiming for it.
You weren't even aiming for
Yeah.
it.
And I think it's just imposter syndrome. I think which is something I've always struggled with. Like I said, right from uni, I was always trying to be involved in something, but I didn't want to be in the forefront. So I was always happy to be a deputy or just someone on the committee helping out.
Back burner.
Yeah.
Back seat. Yeah, okay.
So being president.
So how did that conversation start? Did someone suggest it to you? Or did you let me try it? I mean, how did that even come to your mind? How did you even start thinking about it?
So someone suggested it to me actually.
Okay.
So in JCI Aberdeen, there's a succession plan, and it usually involves the previous vice president stepping up to being the president. But
Were you ever the junior vice president? No.
I wasn't.
Okay, that's
So
interesting.
this year was different.
Okay.
So the vice president that was meant to become president asked me to be a vice president, but closer to, well, we have an unofficial election. Yeah, although you've been nominated, someone can oppose, but usually no one does. And in the election, everyone just agrees to. It's an election because we do vote, but it's usually unanimous. So closer to the election, she dropped out because of things going on in her life. So we already started seeing signs of that. And I started thinking, okay, it looks like no one wants to step up. And I've already agreed to be vice president.
Oh,
So I'd mentally started preparing myself
That was
for
gonna
someone
come
who was going to ask me
ask
that
you.
question.
okay.
So yeah, so that's how it happened. So eventually I was asked the question. So I think I was prepared for it. So it was a no-brainer, just take that foot forward, even though I felt I wasn't ready. So it's a lot of confidence building at the moment, just trying to like settle into the role.
Absolutely. No, I understand what you mean, and I think that's a very strong message that I would like the viewers or the audience to get from this particular episode. It's always, there's never going to be like a perfect time. You're never going to like, okay, I have arrived, or or I can do it. Most times there's always that um fear. You would always have that, am I capable? Especially in your case that you weren't even the vice.
Yes.
You just went from somewhere there up
Up
straight
to
to, the being the president. So it would definitely be daunting. But I think sometimes when an opportunity like that comes, it's good to take it if you are looking for something. And that's what I want to ask you now. What were you hoping to get from being the president? Because even before you decided to like, okay, I would accept this if this is being handed to me, what did you hope for? Or what do you think? What were your thoughts then in terms of how you were going to further develop yourself or additional skills that you're able to acquire? Because there should have been something that drove you,
drove me
yeah,
there.
motivated you.
So like I think the main one would be like development, building on my confidence, and also working with a team. Yes.
Yeah, that's very important.
So I'll say I'm a young project manager, and since I started my career, I've not necessarily led a team.
Okay, okay.
So I think this is one way to build that experience,
Yeah.
working with the rest of my boards, like deliver on different projects. Then also, I think it helps with networking, which was something I leveraged on while I was job hunting. Because through JCI, I got more interviews that I
Okay.
think I would not have gotten
Okay, because of the
because
networking,
of the
the people you
networking.
get to, relate with, and yeah, I think that's a very important aspect too in terms of resilience. Networking, we've discussed it in this, podcasts quite a lot. The importance of belonging to a community, importance of networking. Okay, so that like open doors for you.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. What other benefits? So let's look at it from a general point of view. What other benefits have you gotten from being a member, being a president of the network, of the group?
So the biggest one would be a new community of people
Okay.
I can like rely on. So having moved to Aberdeen 4 years ago, all the initial self people I know have left Aberdeen. So I think that was one of the motivators for me to like join JCI. Just build a fresh network of people. And so one of the biggest gain I've gotten is like the different people I've met, different skill sets I've added to my network. So things I might not be able to do, I know who to go and meet and who to rely on to do it.
That's good.
And I'm also learning from other people as well.
Okay, that's really brilliant. So I like you to, I mean, just for the people listening, for them to know that JCI is everywhere in Scotland, like you said, Scotland, England, the world.
Yeah.
So there's one in a group in Edinburgh,
Yeah, there's one in Edinburgh,
Glasgow.
there's one in Aberdeen. Glasgow is been developed again because the members aged out.
Okay.
So that's one of, let's say, challenges with a young person's group like this. You need to keep the fresh blood coming. If you have just the same set of members,
Yeah,
eventually you'd have no one in it. Although we do have a group for members that have passed age limit and they become sort of alumni, but it's usually reserved for, I say, members that have put in the hard work and dedication into JCI, and eventually they become JCI senators.
Okay.
So they don't even have to have been over 40 to become a senator. But just that dedication and hard work they've put in, they get in by nomination. So we have more of that in Glasgow.
Okay.
So all the senators now are trying to revamp Glasgow and make it a thing. But aside just those three in Scotland, you also have the JCI Virtual Community, JVC. So you don't have to be linked to any geographical location. You can join online
Okay.
and be part of the network.
Okay. Okay. All right. No, that's good information. And you said the age range is between 18
18 and 40 years.
and 40. So after 40, you can't become a member again. Okay.
You can still come to the events though.
Okay, why are you laughing? You mean you want people to know that I'm more than 40?
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Okay.
I just remember.
No, that's okay. No, that's okay because I think that age range is very important, really, and it's good for people to be aware that such things exist. So if they come, students coming from outside the country, they should know that they could be part of a community. And I know there are some similar communities, like I know the one I mentioned was Toastmasters, but I don't know how much involved they are in terms of community events like what JCI does. But so if I want you now to, how would you encourage, someone, like you said, that age, someone that is between 18 and 40 or someone coming in their 20s, what would you tell them in terms of encouraging them to be a member of JCI? How would you sell JCI to them, to a young person?
I think I can always speak from what
Absolutely,
sold
from
me.
your experience, definitely it's from your experience, what you know about the community, what you have benefited, your engagement. How would you convince someone? Tell them about, JCI. Or in other words, why should they be a member of JCI?
So I think they should be a member of JCI because there's a lot of things to gain. So you build yourself up. So it helps with your work-wise, it helps with your career. So you learn so much from different people, from official and unofficial events, because you're always collaborating, you're always talking with people. You don't know what you can pick up, you don't know what opportunities might come your way. So that's one. Fourth career, so you also build a good network of people. So you build long-lasting friendship, and it doesn't have to be just locally. It can be anywhere else in the world because it's a global network. Usually I encourage our members to go for conferences and events in other cities, in other countries. And I've seen very, very good friendships across the borders. So you never know where you might get help from
Okay.
internationally. I think is so depending on what you're looking for, it can be fulfilling to yourself. Just being active in something, belonging to something.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be part of something and contribute in one way or the other. So I think there's so much. So if you're someone that just likes the social aspects, yes, we do a lot of social events. If you're someone looking for things to enhance your career, please do join. There's so many events, so many resources, people to help you with that. And if you're just interested in charity work, we're also very involved with that. And we also champion and try and motivate our members to come up with all of these ideas. Although it's like a group, I say a board-led group, we also rely heavily on the members. So you could be just an ordinary member, but you can make a lot of impact in it by just your suggestions and just pushing for a project which you're passionate about.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Teslim, for that information. Thank you once again for listening to this episode. You could connect with Teslim on LinkedIn. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yes.
Connect with him on LinkedIn if you want to find out more about JCI. But it's one way of being resilient, getting to know people, connecting with people, belonging to a network or a community. So once again, remember to stay educated, remain enlightened to become empowered. Thank you and see you in the next episode. Bye.